Hello, you guys. Good morning. How are you all? Let me see. Hey, Princess Megan, Elsa. Hey, Jinlu. Hey, Ava, Mama Bear, Corey Reeves, Jody, Aaron. Hey, Leo girl. Profiling manipulation. Good to see you, girl. Hey, Teresa. Chemistry queen. I don't know if I said that already. Riddler. Delaney. Thank you guys for being here. And how are you on this Sunday morning? It's a little bit chilly here, but I've got some really delicious freaking coffee. I'm drinking coconut mocha coffee with Rice Krispie treat creamer. And it tastes, oh my God, it's so good. Hey, Remy. Hey, Diane. Hey, Cassie. Okay, so, hey, Muffy. Ricky, you guys, there is, coffee with Bailey's. I couldn't believe this when I saw this last night. I really couldn't. It was just a little bit too late to come on here. I did make a TikTok of just like a clip of the interview, but there are several interviews that came out last night from Kaylee's family that, wow. If you have not seen them, I know most of you have seen them. We're going to watch them again, and we're going to talk about it because they're pretty mind-blowing. Hey, y'all. Hey, y'all. I had that creamer last week. Yeah, it's pretty good. I like it. Oh, Jody, you're freezing, Delaney. How cold is it there? It's never too late. Well, too late for me to be on YouTube. That interview, mind blown. I know. Okay, so let me just go ahead and start pulling it up. But I think first, I meant to show you guys yesterday this TikTok. It's like this. It's like with shots you can see inside the house. I've seen some pictures like this, but not exactly. So let me pull that up first. It's just a quick little TikTok, but I thought that we could look at that and then we will watch these interviews. There's 3 videos. Oh my God, they're crazy. This is I cannot wait to have the conversation with you guys about them and see what you think. But first, let's check this out. Let's see. This is from the Daily Mail's TikTok, which didn't know they had a TikTok account, but that's pretty cool. Ooh, -6. Oh my God. Delaney lives in Penguin Land. How cold was it? I didn't see. What did she say? Oh, she didn't say. Oh, -3 Celsius. Oh my God. So what would that be? Because 0 is 32. It's hard for me to understand the Celsius to Fahrenheit. I've never seen images of the inside from the outside of a place where a crime has been committed. Yeah, well, these, people are really very interested, I guess, and they're trying to see what's inside. But here, I'll show you. I'm going to have to mute, so I'll be right back.
Inside of the home where 4 University of Idaho students were brutally murdered. The crime scene has been preserved for more than 2 weeks now as investigators sifted through every single inch of this 3-story home looking for clues. Daily Mail has obtained exclusive photos of the site of this quadruple homicide, and the house really just looks frozen in time. The off-campus residence has been described as a party house, and by all accounts, that's exactly what it looked like the night of these brutal murders. There are red Solo cups set up for a beer pong game, an empty bag of popcorn, dirty dishes, a half-drank iced coffee. Honestly, it's all a bit of a mess, but that's exactly what you would expect to find in an off-campus house with 5 college students living in it on a Saturday night. Now, if you focus right here, you see a red little piece of tape. That's an evidence marker, and those are scattered all throughout the house. So far, 113 pieces of physical evidence have been taken by investigators. What's also interesting here is what we don't see, which is blood. Based on early photos of the house, there was so much blood in one of the bedrooms that it was literally seeping out of the home through the foundation. But based on the images of these common living spaces, there really doesn't seem to be anything there that would have indicated very brutal crime.
Okay, so I wanted to show that for a couple reasons. One, I know you guys are curious like I am too. I thought this really shows you, like, the roommates that morning, if there's no blood or, the common areas, the living room, if it looks if you can't see blood and stuff, they probably, I don't know. I can just see why things happened the way they did, except for the noise, which I still don't understand completely how they wouldn't make noise, especially considering both of them were coupled up. So, 2 to 1 room. So you would think that one person at least out of each couple would have the opportunity to fight or make some noise. My TikTok, I'm not logged in on it, but it's Alex Erickson 11. Let me double check. Yes, Alex Erickson 11. Okay, so now I'm going to.
How are you? Are you here for a temp job? Yeah. I'm not.
Stop that. And let's pull up these parents' interviews. So first we're going to start with, okay, so Deets on the Streets has one that I don't think is the News Nation, so we can watch that too. But at first we'll watch the 2 that I know that are News Nation. So this is the one that absolutely just shocked me last night. I could not believe it. I still can't believe it. I can't wait to see what you guys think and watch it with you. It's fun because it's like you get to kind of hang out with your friends and watch stuff together, talk to each other, have the conversation and the discussion. Like, I know, like in my house, nobody's really interested in true crime. My mom, my kid, nobody to talk to about it. So.
Hey, it's Dana from StreamYard. I'm so excited to announce that
tomorrow will officially mark 3 weeks since 4 University of Idaho students were nothing short of slaughtered in their apartment building. Tonight, detectives are telling News Nation they are combing through 113 pieces of physical evidence, 4,000 crime scene photographs. There are even 3-dimensional scans of that home. But the killer is still on the loose and no indication from investigators on who could have committed this gruesome crime. News Nation senior national correspondent Brian Entin live for us on the ground in Moscow, Idaho.
Hey, Jay and Fiddle DD and Alexis. I needed to pause anyways, really, for fair use. Hey, Lips. So I'm going to use that opportunity to talk to you guys for a second. Most people think I'm crazy for following these cases so closely, but I got my BFF to talk to, thank God. Well, you guys are all my like closest friends, and my friends from YouTube that I do talk to privately. So I thank God I have you guys to talk to about it. Because, I asked my mom the other night, I was like, since you watched Dead to Me without me, we were going to watch it together. Are you interested in watching the Casey Anthony documentary? She's like, not really. I was like, okay, well, you could have pretended, but okay. I was like, you don't want to watch it? She said, no. I was like, okay, whatever. I love you guys, Princess Megan Elsa.
Tonight, Brian, we are hearing from the victims' family members.
We are, Natasha, and it is just heartbreaking. It's hard to believe that now it has basically been 3 weeks, since these terrible murders. You can see the house behind me. It is still a crime scene. Moscow police have now hired private security to come out here and guard the house. The crime scene tape's still up here right now. You mentioned the victims' families. It's hard to imagine what they're going through. I spoke with Kaylee Goncalves' family late last night. Obviously, they are somewhat frustrated that this killer is still on the run. They're also.
Okay, so here we go, getting into the, I'd watch it. Yeah, she's just like, nah, I'm good. Hey, Tess, happy Sunday. Thank you, Clancy. I think this is all about drugs. Maddie's mother's arrest, the cartel, law enforcement doesn't know how to handle this, so they're going in circles. Just my opinion. Interesting. Okay. I don't know what to think anymore. I have a lot of suspicion of Jack S, aka Hoodie Guy. And after this, I do believe that Kaylee's family does too. So if we're about to get to where where it gets interesting.
So frustrated that so many people have been cleared already. They say they want to know the alibis, that police aren't sharing the alibis with them, and they want more information. Take a listen.
Is anyone acting differently since the murders? I mean, is there anyone that you have a weird feeling about that the girls knew or that comes to mind?
Yeah, I would say not in the immediate circle by any means, but a few of the names that have been circulating around, I think it's hard not to kind of, dig into this. And I don't know how much of that is just because we have so little information from law enforcement and how much of it really is, a sister or a father's intuition.
Can you elaborate at all? I don't know. You don't have to give a name, but I mean, is it?
Brian Ninton's really trying to get the gossip from them, what they think, their opinion, and he does a good job because he gets up.
Is it someone that she knew, or?
I have something to say about that. I just feel like there's been a couple individuals that were cleared very fast. That may not, maybe he shouldn't have been. And yeah.
Share the strong alibi.
Just really fast.
If you can dismiss.
An hour later, and we're like, what?
Okay, so that is why I think they're talking about Jack. Mom says, I think there's a couple individuals who were cleared like way too fast, like within an hour. And they say not in the immediate circle. Dad says, share the strong alibi. Like if he has such a strong alibi, tell us what it is, basically. I think so too, Tess. I do. The family definitely has a hunch about someone. Yes. If you're in one of the frats or sororities connected to this and you know something, but they're holding brotherhood or sisterhood over your head, don't be a sheep, be a hero, and speak up. Yes, and the tip line is on the screen. Speak up anonymously. Speak up anonymously. No one in my life follows current true crime either. Ooh, because he's law enforcement, but he's totally not interested. Yeah, Dad he's calls it death. See, I think he means it doesn't match each other. Like the cause of death. I don't know, but we do have that too. So let's keep listening. And I will say, I had a retired officer in here one day talking about Leilani Simon's case and how they said publicly that she was the only suspect. And he said that is a tactic to make people feel comfortable, secure, safe, make people think that they're, not being watched as closely. Tammy, I didn't see your comment, and I don't know if it's true. Let me see I've seen the rumors though. Is it true Jack is in Africa after driving 5 hours to a parent's cabin the night of the killings? I don't know for sure. Now I've seen the rumors and stuff, but I don't know anything like for certain. Did he say there's a strong alibi or she? So he said, tell us share the strong alibi. Because right before you hear Brian Ensign, he's like, yeah, the family wants to know what the alibis are. Here, I'll rewind it a second and then we'll watch it a little bit further. And I'll be right back.
And that may not.
You or?
I have something to say about that. I just feel like there's been a couple individuals that were cleared very fast. That may not, maybe he shouldn't have been. And yeah.
Share the strong alibi.
Just really fast.
If you can dismiss.
An hour later, and we're like, what? And I don't know anything about those individuals. I just know they were people that, definitely should have been looked at. And yeah.
I don't know what would prevent you from sharing somebody's alibi.
Yeah, I think that's what we're struggling with. So it's like, we know what we know. We've, fought for Jack, Kaylee's boyfriend, and, we still stand that way. So I did just kind of want to clear that up while we're talking through this ambiguity that, that's not what we're honing in on here.
I don't know, you guys. This is super interesting, especially since they've been talking through code and stuff. By the way, have a good day, Punksy. By the way, you guys, Kaylee, her sister, and her mom all have the same eyes. Like you can, like I feel like watching her mom talk, you can almost see Kaylee through her eyes, like you know. Mary, they said, okay, so it was, they said, share the strong alibi. It sounds almost like they said she has a strong alibi, but they're begging for police to share the information with them, basically. It really does, Jay. Yeah, I know, Muffy, but that's not what he said. He said share the strong alibi. I can show you guys one more time really quick.
So it's like, we know what we know. We've fought for Jack Kaylee's boyfriend.
They were people that not maybe he should not have been.
Share the strong alibi.
Really.
Oh, it wasn't muted, so it was echoing. But yeah, share the strong alibi. I'll mute and play that one sentence one more time.
Were cleared very fast. That may not. Maybe he should have been. And yeah.
Share the strong alibi.
Just really fast.
We don't make more victims out of innocent people.
Exactly.
Definitely don't want to do that.
So you heard from Kaylee's family there that they want more information from police. A similar message from Xana Kernodle's mother. Ashley Banfield spoke with her. The first time she's spoken out, it was on Banfield last night. She had something very interesting to say, Natasha, that Xana's father was actually at the house a week prior to the murders, changing a door lock. Listen to that exclusive interview.
Her father mentioned to me that he had just went and replaced the lock the weekend before.
You said her father mentioned to you that they had replaced the lock?
Yes, that he had fixed it or something. Yeah,
Is that not insane? Okay, so let me get the next one. So there's 3 videos. 2 I've seen, 1 I didn't see. This is another part of his interview with her family.
This weird toolbox
Family wants some clarity from investigators. So, see. Moscow, Idaho. 25,000 of that population, 11,000 go to the university. Interesting. See, but I don't know. Do university students count on a census? Or is that numbers from a census or what? This channel is garbage. Bye. Gamer guy, go somewhere else. You're also the one who spammed my chat yesterday saying that Casey Anthony was innocent. So you don't need to be here. Bye.
Placing gadget is quickly becoming the most popular Christmas gift of 2022.
Dozens of tips and crime scene pictures. Still no suspect in the murder of 4 Idaho college students stabbed in their sleep. Families mourning their loved ones while looking to the police for answers as agonizing weeks stretch on. News Nation's Brian Enton joining us live now from Moscow. And Brian, some of these family members are frustrated. Are we any closer to a suspect than we were 3 weeks ago?
Unfortunately, not that we know of, Natasha. The latest we have heard from police is that there is still no known suspect and not even any persons of interest. The prosecutor told me this week they don't have any video of a suspect on camera, and they're still soliciting tips from the public now.
I think that would feel super defeating, like 3 weeks in and I don't know. That's Trent, loser. That's okay, MJ. Woofy. See, I always want to call you MJ now because of the name. Gamer guy was booted out of chats all day yesterday. It'd be good if the family stopped talking to media. I feel so sad for Xana. Her mother had no idea what floor her bedroom was on or what kind of car she drove. Oh wow, Muffy, that's awful. She clearly had no involvement. Mm-mm. Dude, you need to get a life. We are sitting here talking about the tragic murder of 4 kids. Yes, they were kids. Thank you, Woofy. That's absolutely ridiculous to find go fucking do this on a stream about fucking video games or something, but damn it, man. That's disrespectful and it really makes me mad. Jinlu, yes, I do too. I think the families are worried as time goes on, their children will be forgotten. Well, that's why they keep doing the interviews and stuff. You know, that's what I think. They're trying to keep it out, keep it like in the front of people's minds and in the front of the media until somebody's
3 weeks after the murders in the house behind me. You can see this is still a crime scene tape. The police department here has hired private security to keep an eye on the house at all times as the victims' families grow frustrated. I spoke with Kaylee Goncalves' family, her mom and dad and sister, who say they're just growing impatient and they want more information from the police.
Is anyone acting differently since the murders? I mean, is there anyone that you have a weird feeling about that the girls knew or that comes to mind?
Yeah, I would say not in the immediate circle by any means, but a few of the names that have been circulating around, I think it's hard not to kind of, dig into this. And I don't know how much of
Wait, did they clip the same thing? Oh, thank you, Fiddle DD. This was the same interview, I think. Here, I'm gonna let it play for a second, but
that is just because we have so little information from law enforcement and how much of it really is, a sister or a father's intuition.
Can you elaborate?
She had the strong alibi.
Just really fast. Just know
Right.
they were people that, definitely should have been looked.
Yeah, I think that's what we're struggling with. So it's like, we know what we know. We've, fought for Jack, Kaylee's.
okay, so that's the same interview on 2 clips, but I have more stuff, so we're just gonna keep going. I mean, it's 2 different videos posted by News Nation though, which is kind of annoying, but I guess. Okay, so here is the last one. Now this is another one that dropped my jaw. I saw this one this morning, and I only saw it because I only saw it because Deets on the Streets has like put it on their channel. I don't know where it came from, so I don't know how to do subscriber mode, you guys. I've never done that before. I think it's on YouTube, and I'm streaming through StreamYard. Hey, Steph B. So Kaylee's if you watched it, we just played a video, and then this one is going to be the second one, and both are just insane. Okay, Jinlu, thank you. This troll owes me money for beer. What the heck is Trenton doing up there?
Hey, it's Dana from StreamYard. I'm so excited to announce that
Okay, so I'm putting the link in the chat. This is Deets on the Street, and just ignore that dude. I'm sorry. I don't know. I hear you, Ashley, but I can't do it right now because I don't know how to do it. I'm not streaming through YouTube. I'm streaming through StreamYard. So just ignore him. That's all I know. Imagine being that miserable that what you're doing on a Sunday morning is trolling a chat that is going over the murder of 4 kids. That's just really sick. Yeah, I know it was through YouTube. I'll get it for the next time, you guys, I promise. Okay, so Deets on the Streets is a small, not a small channel, it's an awesome channel who does like small clips of, it's like Evil Exists. It's a place where you can go to get information without having to sit through like a full lab. They'll just have the information for you. So it's a really awesome channel. So yeah. Okay. This is crazy. Hey, sweet Lulu. I'm gonna try, Ava.
Steve Goncalves, thank y'all so much for being with me. You guys have been so transparent and strong for the public. Christy, you called the person that did this the boogeyman.
Yeah.
What did you mean by that?
It's literally like what nightmares are made of. Like when you're a little kid and you think of the boogeyman, that's just how I feel. Like that's just the horrific details of everything. Them just having a good time, going home, going to bed, and this happening to them.
Your best friend calling into bed.
Just
Okay, so it looks like an interview with Fox News, but yeah, it is like the real life boogeyman. It is literally like a horror movie. It's absolutely your worst nightmare, especially, I mean, you have kids and you get them all the way to college. But like Ethan's parents, 2 sets of parents, have commented on how they thought that they had basically like done their job and raised them up safely, and they did it, and they're good kids and they're trying and they're in college, and you know what I mean, and it's just awful, awful, awful. It does, Jay. I agree. No, I didn't, Wolfie, but I will look at it.
Every girl in America knows what that's
the
like.
boogeyman doesn't, meet you at McDonald's. I mean, the boogeyman comes and snatches you out of your bedroom.
Steve, we've been talking. I've been talking to folks in the community. You said something that stuck with me. You said, until this person is caught, you can't sleep in your bed.
No, I can't just lay in my bed and do nothing. That's not the way I raise my family. That's not the way I raise my girls and my son. You don't be a victim. You stand up for yourself and you do everything in your power to make sure people hear you. And they're gonna hear Kaylee. They're gonna hear Maddie. They're gonna hear these.
The other two as well.
Yes.
Okay, so this is sad. I know the parents are absolutely, fed up. They want answers. They're going through your worst nightmare, but then also, and they're trying to keep their names out there. But then, and Wolfie, I just read your message. You really don't know when, you don't want to say too much. I don't know. I don't even know what to think. I mean, it's their right. They've lost their kids, so I feel like I don't even want to criticize them for any, you know what I mean? Well, they lost their daughter and her best friend who was like a daughter to them. Desiree. Hi, Alex. Have you seen the map video that Sweetie Pie Low put out yesterday? It's a whole other concept. Yes, I have. You know what? If we have time at the end of this, maybe we'll go and check it out because that is absolutely insane. I can't believe it. Last night I went on Guidance and Life with TLC on her panel to chat for a little bit about it, and she played the video because I had watched it, but I didn't watch the screen. And after seeing that, oh my God, yeah. They've reached their limit, but they have to be careful. But then again, it's like, dude, who are we to tell them? You know what I mean? What to.
I'm careful saying anything about them because I need to be careful because I can't speak on somebody else's child. But these two girls, I'm not trying to be a glory hound, but these two girls, I'm going to do what I can do, and we're not being victims. We're going to fight. We're going to figure out how to make sure that we hold everybody accountable and keep eyes and attention on this and get this thing resolved.
Steve, you have made it very clear to our audience that you are supportive of law enforcement. You support the investigation. But recently, I've been watching and talking with you, and you're getting frustrated. What does that frustration come from, sir?
They put certain people between you and the officers that are making things happen, and those people are like lawyers, and they don't want to say anything. They don't have the guts to come up and be alpha and be like leaders and say, hey, we might say something that's wrong. We're going to take that hit. So the officers, they look me straight in their eyes. The lead detective looked me in his eyes. I have no doubt he's working as hard as he can. Hey, they put certain people between you and the officers that are making things happen, and those people are like lawyers, and they don't want to say anything, and they don't have the guts to come up and be alpha and be like leaders and say, hey, we might say something that's wrong.
Wow, I didn't know. I had to rewind it to see if he was talking about the cops. He said they put certain people in between you and the cops, like lawyers, and he's mad. He's fed the fuck up. I don't blame him. Excuse my language, but I want him to say I have a special set of skills, like the taking guy. I would be just like them. You wait and let police look how long Delphi took. I wouldn't want to wait 5 years plus. I agree. Has anybody heard that Dylan and Bethany won't give DNA? Jody, no, I have not heard that. Hey, Tiffany. Thank you, Tiffany. I agree. Okay, listen to this. This is crazy, and this makes me wonder. I've got so many questions after this. And I will say the reason that police don't put everything out there is because there are certain things at a crime scene that only the people who committed that crime and the police who came to clean it up and stuff and came to take care, like, to do the reports and everything, only those people know. So there are certain ways that they can kind of trap somebody and see if they know anything by using that. So when you start talking, you know what I mean? That's the only fear that I have is something going wrong, kind of like that.
Going to take that hit. So the officers, they look me straight in their eyes. The lead detective looked me in his eyes. I have no doubt he's working as hard as he can. But somebody isn't communicating. There's nothing being released. It seems like they're trying to suppress the story. Like, we want to put rewards out. They're like, don't do that. Yeah, I get it. Your town doesn't want to have reward posts posted all over when you come and you do your rush. You're not going to get a lot of students if they see those things. But this community is not going to heal until this guy's pulled off the streets. It ain't going to happen. Think it through. It's not going to happen. He has to be off the streets.
Lady V, if you want to, I would love that. If actually what I'll do is I'll get through this interview really quick, and then I'm going to drop the link and let you guys kind of give your opinions or whatever, that kind of thing. So that's my worry. If you guys want to come up.
We all are working for the same thing.
When was the last time y'all heard from the police?
Thursday.
Thursday, we looked at our phone records. We want to be accurate. We don't want to sell anyone out.
About 3 o'clock on Thursday.
And
did y'all get an update from the police about the investigation?
There was nothing. We have no updates for you.
There was no update. They needed me to sign a waiver form so that they could investigate something that was mail related. So we're working with them. We're not selling them out. We love our law support.
The FBI, everybody that's here. We just have no information as family. And if it's tough day after day after day, I mean, every day you just wake up and think today's the day. We're going to hear something. And you see these, oh, there's a break in the case. And it'll just be something.
Speaking of Delphi, you have that today is the day. God, I can't imagine just waiting and just to get justice for your baby. Like, you would want to take it into your own hands, I would imagine, which would be really hard.
Stupid.
The sixth person on the lease that was never there. Stop playing games. This is serious. These are people's lives, and this is the future of this community. There's going to be 10,000, 15,000 kids that come into this community next year, or they don't. So I'm serious.
I had the opportunity to speak to some of my sources, and I've been told that there were differences in the way that the victims were killed. Some were more severe than the other. And this week we heard the target attack walk back and then reverse her back to it being a target attack. What can you tell us about the targeted attack?
They have told us that it was targeted, but they told us they can't tell who. We asked specifically, and they said, we'll try to get that information to you. And they got back to us a day or so later, and they said, we're sorry, we can't give you that information. But then a day later, we saw in the news that it was not targeted, or they think the whole house was targeted. But
I'll cut to the chase.
Yeah.
Their means of death don't match.
Maddie's and Kaylee's cause of death, it does not match based on the autopsy report.
They don't match.
Would indicate that one of them.
What does this mean? I'll cut right to this chase. Their means of death don't match. I mean, and I'm going to rewind back to right when he starts to ask about the victims and their, like, not being the same. Watch. As soon as he starts to ask, Kaylee's mom, she just immediately starts nodding yes. Like, it's just so natural. Just watch. Diane, I know. I agree. Yes. College towns don't want bad press. That's true, Holly. I can't wait to have you to hear what you guys think. And like anybody who doesn't come up. Okay, I'm gonna rewind back to this.
Targeted, but they told us they can't.
First, back to it being a target attack. That.
Okay, now watch her mom's body language and stuff as soon as he asks.
The victims were killed. Some were more severe than the other. And this week we heard the target attack walk back and then reverse it back to it being a target attack. What can you tell us about the targeted attack?
They have told us that it was targeted, but they told us they can't tell who. We asked specifically, and they said, we'll try to get that information to you. And they got back to us a day or so later, and they said, we're sorry, we can't give you that information. But then a day later, we saw in the news that it was not targeted, or they think the whole house was targeted. But
I'll cut to the chase.
Yeah.
Their means of death don't match.
I'll cut to the chase. Their means of death don't match.
Maddie's and Kaylee's cause of death, it does not match based on the autopsy report.
They don't match.
Would indicate that one of them.
He doesn't have to go up the steps. Let's stop playing games, guys. I need somebody to step up and be an alpha. Be somebody to be a leader. Don't make me do it. I don't want to do it. He doesn't have to go up the steps. Their points of damage don't match. I'm just going to say it. It wasn't leaked to me. I earned that. I paid for that funeral. I paid for that. It's my right.
Holy hell, you guys. He's pissed. Don't blame him. But what does he mean? He doesn't have to go up the steps. He doesn't have to go up the steps. I mean, what in the world does he mean? And then, this wasn't leaked to me. I paid for the funeral. So, what are you talking about, Wookie?
You ain't taking that from me.
Calm down.
If you don't want to say nothing, that's your bet.
11/11, make a wish.
But don't say I'm leaking anything. I paid that bill. Sent my daughter to college to get an education. She came back in a box, and I can speak on that.
I was also told from sources that are closer to an investigation, because there was a lot of roommates in there. And this was horrific for those roommates that were there as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
The preservation of this crime scene. Witnesses tell me that it may have well been preserved because the phone was passed around between one of the fraternity members and the girls. One of them unfortunately witnessed the death, the body there. Can you confirm that?
We cannot actually. We know nothing about that whole phone call. We've asked, and
Okay, so this reporter is really trying to get the information out of them, and they obviously are fed up because they have not been given that much information. I'm going to put the link in the chat. I want you guys to come up if you want to share your thoughts on all of this. I want to know what you think about the first video of, this person was cleared too fast, and then what you think about this. Their wounds don't match. He didn't have to go up the steps. I mean, I could list out the things that Kaylee's dad has said in the last 3 or 4 interviews that are so they're giving us clues to things. And I think that'd be so interesting because remember, he does that interview 2 or 3 days ago where he's talking about the Tesla and the cameras and the alibis. And then now, they're saying someone was cleared too fast and he doesn't have to go up the steps. Really interesting. You're starting to feel like he's pointing the finger at one or both of their roommates. Anyone else? Wow. He did say that could be one of the people who was cleared fast. Hey, Gypsy. Good to see you, beautiful. With all due respect, this grieving family is stating things publicly which could harm the integrity of the case. Pamela, I don't think. I think that they are. I don't think they're intentionally trying to hurt the case, and I think they have the right to say whatever they want. They have suffered an unimaginable loss. So I'm not judging them for it, but I do agree. I know. I'm dying to know who has the Tesla too. I think I need to list this out like the sketchy things. Let me see if I can get the notepad open. There's the link I put in the chat. I am gonna continue this video, but I'm just grabbing the notebook so we can list out Kaylee's dad's clues. We have the Tesla comment, the comment about camera footage. We have the comment about their wounds. The manner of death doesn't match. The wounds don't match. I don't know how I should say that there. I'll just put the injuries don't match. And then we have, they didn't have to go up the steps. Yeah, because he does kind of speak in riddles sometimes. Riddler. Oh, there's Lady V. Hey, Lady V.
Hi, sweetie. How are you today?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you, beautiful?
I'm doing great. Hey, I have a question for chat.
Okay.
Okay, we had this discussion in Brittany's last night. Well, I get them mixed up anymore. Okay, so we had this discussion over at Brittany's, and okay, when he says he didn't have to go up the stairs, how many of you believe he's talking about the red rummer, or how many of you think that he's talking about procedures?
Well, look, actually, when you say that, it's funny. Jewel put up the steps as in chain of command. Punksy.
Yeah,
Thank you.
that's what I think.
Punksy,
I don't.
Thank you so much, and I love you to pieces, and you're sweet.
I saw on Reddit they were having the same discussion too.
Oh, well, okay. So I guess it could be procedurally. I'm going to stop this screen share. And then I'm just going to share my entire screen because I want you guys to see. I am making a list. Her dad, at this point, he's made so many little comments and clues,
Yeah.
It's super interesting. I don't know. What do you guys think about this comment? About they don't match. Their injuries don't match, or, what did he say? The manner of death doesn't match. Here, let me pull this up. These are the ones I wrote down so far. Yeah, and I guess he means between Maddie and Kaylee, or
that was another topic. Did he mean the two upstairs and the two on the second floor, or did he mean like between Kaylee or Maddie, or Ethan and Xana, or Xana and one of the girls upstairs, or
Right, yeah. What do you think, Jay?
Well, yeah, I'm being a little quiet more than usual, aren't I? Yeah. But I was just letting you because I was really interested in what you were saying. But yeah, what I think is that maybe that he's suggesting that he thinks that maybe more than one person's involved.
Mm.
both of us.
Now, do you think that they're throwing any kind of suspicion towards the roommates?
I think the father is. I think he is definitely. I think he's throwing suspicion towards anyone. I think that's just only natural as a parent, you know. But I think his is coming from a lot more of an intelligent basis rather than an emotional basis. He is getting emotional, but he seems very intelligent.
Yeah, definitely. I want to read your guys in the comments comments in the chat, but I'm going to finish the rest of this little video, or at least the next minute of it, and then we'll finish talking, okay? Let's see.
Good morning, LFT.
I know that a lot of people want to know, but that's just not our agenda. We just are like, somebody called 911, somebody was reported unconscious. We don't really know. I mean, we've heard so many different things, and nothing has been clarified or been told to us at all. And I mean, I don't know if I personally have asked anything about that. I don't know if you have asked that, but we know that this is getting 3 weeks in, and it's starting to get. We don't want it to go cold. We're reaching out. I've reached out to friends down in California today that have connections that we're hoping to raise some money to get a reward, to get a private investigator.
Third party.
Why go the private route? Do y'all worry that at the end of this week that this case may be cold?
We're scared.
When you tell me you don't want a photo up there with the reward offering information, that kind of sounds like you're trying to like suppress the story.
Hello, Jay.
Oops. This bothered me. Why do they not want them to do a reward? Why? It's like maybe they don't want the bad press at the college, or.
Well, they've already got enough bad press, you know. I think the best press they can get is, like he said, getting the bastard or bastards off the streets, you know, and then everyone can feel safe again. I think whatever that takes, surely that's the best thing to do.
I agree, but I also think that the college and everybody in that town really doesn't want to see reward posters around, because it will scare away potential students or anything like that.
Yep, I think you're exactly right.
That's why I agree, but I think they're being silly by being like that. I think people are already scared off, you know what I mean? I think it's not going to help.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, I don't know. I just think that, to me, when you care more about that than getting the bad guy, because guess what? That's going to be the best press you can get right now, is catching the killer and locking his ass up so nobody else can get hurt.
Well said, Ali. Well said.
I have one more
I'm
thought.
sure in the aftermath of that, of the killer or killers being arrested, that town will be like the safest town in America. The amount of law enforcement attention on the place, you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
I have one more thought about the reward. They have so much evidence and DNA and everything to go through right now that a lot of times when rewards are offered, they get thousands of calls on all kinds of stuff that have nothing to do with anything, and sometimes it makes it worse.
Yes. Okay. So you think, kind of like Julie, a reward would bring in many tips, but that could need a lot more manpower and make things more crazy. And that
send them on more wild goose chases, you know.
And the killer could even calling, couldn't even give false tips.
Oh, yeah.
I think they've already gotten like 500 digital tips from social media people are watching these videos and they're and please don't watch my video and think that you know something and call the tip line. That is for people that have seen something and they haven't said anything yet, or people that have information, not just your opinion based on certain videos that are out there. Now, can you alert law enforcement? Like, say there's a video posted and it's suspicious in some way and you want to alert law enforcement, that's fine. But yeah, please don't do that, just because I just don't want to send them a bunch of people that are like, I watched this interview and
no more chaos added to it. Yeah.
Mama Bear says, Alex, the roommates didn't go to the funeral, did they? I don't know about that. Do you guys know? Jay and Lady V?
Oh, I'm sorry.
I mean, I'm
my
not.
husband
I'm not
was
aware.
talking.
Did the roommates go to the funeral?
I don't think they did.
Huh. Now, the roommates would be another person that was cleared within the first hour.
Well, and that's, I think, who they're referring to. Because, yeah, I think it was. But I could be wrong, but I don't think I am. I do not think they went.
Wow, that's crazy. My brain's still waking up, but in my opinion, law enforcement needs to shut the heck up till that legit update, because all they're doing now is backtracking their previous statements. Okay, I'm going to play the rest of this little video. It's not too much longer.
I mean, why do you not need help? But hey, I could be wrong. And your officers, I apologize if I'm wrong.
Yeah,
I want to. But if you don't have the information, people do know. If they don't, then the community. This is a community that is IT based. These guys live a digital footprint like we've never. All of us older people, we don't know how much that digital footprint could be helpful. So that's what we ask for. I hope like a DNA, a family lineage, if they could come out here and just start taking. This town is not that big. We could figure out this, and it might not be him. It might be a family member. We have family all going to school together. There's cousins, there's aunts, there's uncles. We could find this guy just with volunteers.
Lineage companies were,
Put Idaho on the map.
Christy, Steve, we're going to stay on this case.
Thank you.
We're not going anywhere.
Thank you.
You guys have been candid with us. We'll keep asking questions.
Okay, another thing that he keeps saying is about the digital footprint. I'm going to add that to my little list. But, I don't know. I don't even know what to think, you guys. Okay, do you think that when he said that someone was cleared too fast, when they said in that first video, and the mom says like within an hour, would that be referencing Jack S. or the roommates?
Jack
Either,
S. Or Jack D.
Well, was he clear? Jack D is Kaylee's boyfriend. Right. And yeah, they said, so not him. They're not talking about him, because they say at the end, like, just to be clear, we're not referencing Jack, Kaylee's boyfriend. We still stand behind him.
I'm not sure on that one, but one thing that I think would have helped, is that, and in a lot of these cases, if they would just keep in touch with the family, even if it's just to say, hey, we don't have anything, or hey, we have something, but I cannot tell you right now. We have to see where it pans out. I think he wouldn't be so mad.
Yeah. They seem like they've been definitely kept out of the loop.
Yeah, and I can't imagine how that would feel. You already probably feel pretty helpless, like things are out of your control.
Yeah.
Roommates or someone connected to the roommates or the food truck people. So the family said not in the inner circle. Yes, they did. Gosh, I had another thought.
Okay, well, we don't know if the roommates had people over that night either.
That's true. Now, Jody said, I'll pull this up. That's true. Brian Enton went live on Twitter last night, and the police showed up, and they went into the house, into the first floor and then into the second floor to get evidence.
Right.
So, I don't know. I still think the roommates immediately. Now this could be nothing, but they did go out and get those tattoos immediately, which I would think if they were involved. I don't know. I just maybe I'm wrong, but
like it's weird. It's like when I was younger, would I think that some people could do that who are someone's friends? Hell no. But now, yeah, hell yeah. Especially that one with that African American woman in Mexico.
oh my god.
Oh yeah.
Who needs enemies when you've got friends like that? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Seriously.
No kidding.
Oh my god, that was absolutely horrific. So there they are last night, leaving with whatever they got in those bags right there.
And they weren't there for very long, I don't think. I think they kind of knew what they were looking for.
Yes, I think you're right. They went in for something specific, and yeah, let me click on his thing and we'll see what he's got new. Because he did a whole streaming them going from the time they went in to coming out, I think, or he had it on video. And he's still doing those spaces, which is really interesting. Those are cool. If you are on Twitter, it's like a podcast almost.
Well, that sounds great. I didn't know that they could do that stuff on Twitter.
Yeah, and it's super cool. You can how on the podcast app on Apple, if you close your phone, you can still play it. You can do it like that too.
Oh, that's great. So I can do it when I'm running and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Actually, right now, trending on Twitter, Xana and Kaylee are trending.
That's good.
So 3 members of law enforcement just went into the house, not sure if it's local detectives or FBI. They walked up from somewhere and didn't park in the driveway. Lights now turning on in bedrooms, investigators looking around.
Well, they did have it still, they still had it cordoned off.
There they are in the bedroom.
When they said that the first time, I immediately thought the roommates, or if the roommates had guests that stayed overnight, maybe them.
Yeah, honestly,
whoever was there.
Sorry.
Oh, sorry.
Keep going, Lady V. I'm interested.
I'm sorry.
No, you please keep going.
Okay, dear Brad. Okay, so whoever might have, the person that, now you got me all off. Okay, the people that were there whenever the girls saw what happened, and then they went running outside, out the door outside, just hysterical, and the one passed out, and so somebody had to take her phone and let them know, that something was bad. But then more people went in the house, so I don't know. I'm just wondering if it was a passerby. I've heard that, it could be that people saw her and saw the one girl being hysterical and saw the other girl passed out and they went up there. Or could it be that it was somebody that stayed the night with Dylan and Bethany?
Well, I think either are possible. I want to know for certain if that's how that happened, that unconscious person, the 911 call. I think I want to hear that. I think that's going to clear up a lot, because there's so much, we don't know for sure. And that's frustrating.
Right.
Absolutely.
So they have a private security guard guarding the crime scene. That's interesting.
A private one, not even local law enforcement.
Yeah.
That's odd.
Idaho police now using private security to guard the crime stream.
That's
not
right.
Maybe because it's not a large town, so they may have hired them so they can keep every man and woman in the field, collecting evidence and questioning people.
Mm. And also upholding law and order regularly, you know what I mean? Because sometimes if they're distracted on one side of the town, it's red rag to a bull for all the petty thieves and housebreakers,
Very true.
Hi, welcome, Simply Updated.
Hello.
Oh, I like that name. Hello.
Thank you.
How are
I like
you?
the Christmas tree.
Oh, thank you. No, I just wanted to join in. I've seen your name, of course, you, Alex, but I've seen your name, Lady V, and I seen you talking with Queen last night, and I believe it was last night. It was on one of her streams.
Not
But
last night, the night before, yeah.
was it the night before? Yeah, and I'm curious of exactly what she said. Maybe one of the roommates, brought someone home, and like she said, they, and once everybody fell asleep, she was just hypothetically speaking and giving an example of maybe what
Sure.
could have happened. But it had me thinking.
You're lovely, by the
Super.
way.
Oh, thank you. What's your guys' opinion?
I'm curious about that. I think that because to me, what the parents said last night, they have suspicion on either hoodie guy or the roommates. Those are the people
Right.
who were cleared within an hour. So I think that would kind of fall into like what the roommates. So I don't know. I think it's a good, I don't know. It's a good theory, but then the next day they'd have to put on some major acting, but it's possible.
Is that what the
Exactly. You
parents
never
were?
know.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just having a comment, and that's all. You go ahead, please.
Alex, I'm sorry. Could you repeat what you said?
I said that the roommates would have had to do some like serious acting the next day. If it was some, yeah, unless it was someone that stayed with them they didn't know. However, how would they not? You'd have to have some blood on you, or
Well, yeah, that's
Unless
true.
they left afterwards.
They left they cut themselves as well. So yeah, they'd have blood on them, and they'd also have a wound, won't they?
But if they left right away, then I'm sure, and then in the morning the roommates see what happened with the other people there. I'm sure they're gonna be like,
Of course, yeah. It's
the
not.
guy
They would
was
have
here
to have
last night with me.
yeah, two
You know what I
brain
mean?
cells to put that one together. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't think that'd take long.
Right.
Yeah. So my own personal opinion is that it's some guy that they know in passing, and that one of the girls or a few of the girls were nice to, but he's taken it like the wrong way, as if he thought that they were like flirting with him, and then he's developed an obsession almost, and it's got to that. You know what I mean? And
Yeah, I can see that for sure.
that's just all my opinion on it, because you see that happening all the time, So not exactly to this extent where they go on a kill spree, but where people get obsessed because they've got, mental health issues, and they see things the wrong way, and, it becomes an obsession and an unhealthy one. So, that's all I think.
It's very possible. I do believe that the person lives close. I've thought that from the beginning, that
So do I.
they possibly had been watching them. I mean, we saw investigators kind of looking across at those apartments and then back towards the house from there. It's almost like they were looking for a particular vantage point. But let me play this clip just for a second. I haven't actually seen this. It's from the same interview, but they talk about the dog. It's like 30 seconds.
Poor doggy.
Yeah, we do know that he wound up. We still don't know where the dog was found. I've asked and they won't give that answer. So,
Ethan's and the dog going to the Humane Society.
yeah, we do know that he wound up going there, but just where he was found in the home.
But I mean, could he have had blood on him?
That's the question. We don't know.
We'll never know. Could he have jumped on
That
them
chain's
and
been broke.
scratched them, and because he was a jumper? Could that person have hair on him? I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Was he a barker?
Nope.
Not at all. Murphy was he's still kind of a puppy. He just recently is turning one.
He'll be one on the 27th.
Yeah. So, I mean, he was pretty young and he was used to people, being around a lot. He lived with 5 girls.
Do you think if a stranger came in, he would have caused a ruckus?
No, I don't believe so. I honestly think if anything, he probably would have hid.
Yeah, he's a big goofy dog.
Yeah,
So I had showed a few days ago, and I'm going to pull it up again because Aaron hadn't seen their tattoos, so I can show that too. But someone said that the neighbor did an interview and actually claimed there was a lot of barking between 3 and 4, and that they were going to go complain, but then it stopped. So I don't know. Let me see. And yeah, you guys can jump in. If you have, don't you can interrupt me. I'm just looking for that.
I'll never interrupt you.
No, it's okay.
Hey, I wanted to hear your accent, so you have to jump in, you know? I mean, that's the whole reason I called you up here. No, I mean, I don't care about your theories at all. I just, want to hear your accent. I'm just playing.
You do have a nice accent, though.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
I try my best to keep it.
When he comes up, all the girls in the chat are like, "Oh my gosh, Jay, we love you, Jay. You're so cute, Jay."
Okay.
It's like being a rock star. It's the best.
You get your little taste of it.
Oh, shoot.
Go ahead, Lady V.
I was thinking, and I was trying to figure out, and then I lost it.
That's okay. Okay, here's the dog was barking. I watched an interview of one of the neighbors that said the dog was barking from 3 to 4. It kept him and his wife up. They were going to go complain, and then it stopped. And they said they couldn't find the interview. Have any of you guys seen that?
No, I haven't.
Me neither.
I haven't seen.
No, I haven't seen that yet either.
Seen that either. Who is this that posted that?
It was just in a Facebook group about the case, and they said that they had seen it and they couldn't find it again. So had anyone else kind of seen it? I want
No.
to show you guys the tattoos too. I've got
I
so
really
much.
appreciate that, Punksy. That really makes me laugh. Your comment.
What did she say? I can't see the chat
That
right
Jay's making her feel straight.
now. Okay. There's so much information that has come out with this case. It's kind of crazy when you think about how the parents have, complained because they want more information. Think about some of the parents in these other cases, because they don't get nothing. Some of these cases, they won't tell you anything, like Delphi.
Yeah, and it's
I couldn't imagine that. I'd be insane. I'd be literally ringing them all day, every day.
Yeah, I would too. And I think that's his frustration. I think if they'd kept in contact with the families better. Okay, this is what I was going to say or ask, actually. I mean, what do y'all think about Xana having everything separate from everybody else?
What do you mean, like the vigil and stuff, or?
Yeah, like the vigil and their ceremony and all of this. I mean, okay, so I know
It's nice to unwind.
people think you can't be in the same house and not be close, okay? But I can say, in all honesty, my cousin lived with us for 2 years, and we rented out our basement to her and her son. And we're just 14 stairs up, right?
Mm-hmm.
There were times we didn't see each other for a month or two.
Wow. It's crazy, but yeah, because you get busy in your own life and that kind of thing. And Punksy
Schedules and work hours and everything, yeah.
She wants to come home. She wants to get in her PJs. My husband wants to get in his PJs and, just kick back and relax. And it had nothing to do with the fact that, she's one of my best friends. I absolutely love her, but we respected each other's privacy as well, And so I know that they don't necessarily have to be close. I know they're friends enough to do their cute little videos and little things here and there, but that doesn't mean that they're close. Like, it doesn't mean Xana and Ethan were close to the two girls, or that the girls' roommates in the basement or first floor might not have been close with the rest of them. And so I was wondering what people thought about that. And two, I thought a lot about their surveillance from the back, because if you're looking at the back, you see the second and third floor, but you cannot see the first floor. So, what if it is somebody that is either living in that area, or one of these people caught the attention and they followed them? There's a huge parking lot right next to the back of that house where they could
True.
sit and watch them walk around the house, watch them, you know, if they weren't careful with their manner of dress, and see that, and just think they develop a relationship with them.
So true. That's exactly what I completely agree with you there, Lady V. You know, it's either they've spoken to them in passing and one of the girls has been nice to this guy, or he is completely never spoken to them ever and is a neighbor and has come across them from the back way and seen them in, like you say, a compromising position and developed an obsession. You know, that to me, fits that bill.
Well-
Because
I agree.
you go.
Sorry, Jay. Finish.
No, you go. I was finished.
No, I'm sorry.
Well,
Fiddle-dee-dee put. I thought, Lady B, I thought we agreed we wouldn't talk about that time I was in my PJs.
No, I was just going to say, so Sweetie Pie Low has done a video about some post on 4chan. And this would fit so per what you guys are saying, because there are photos of someone who looks like, I think it's actually Melissa Jade lined up these photos beside of Kaylee that day. And it's like the top of the head to the bottom of the hair to the length to the feet. They lined up perfectly. But this is a picture of like the back of a girl's head through a window in her bra. So it's like someone has been watching, taking photos. Now it's 4chan, and it could be nothing. This could be someone pretending to be the killer or something like that. But also, if you guys haven't seen that, you have to check it out. It's pretty mind-blowing.
I've heard about it. And remember when I
Photoshopped,
sent you about Delphi, about that Richard being mentioned on 4chan around the time it happened, saying, "Oh yeah, this guy, my neighbor, is really creepy, and I reckon he did it, and I'm not gonna stop posting that he did it until he's been arrested." You know what I mean?
That was
Yeah,
posted
but
on
it could be
4chan.
Photoshop.
It could
I did
be.
look at it.
Now, did you watch the video Sweetie Pie Low did, putting all of it together, though? Because some of it's kind of in, like, some of the stuff, I don't know if I have an explanation for. Like, have you seen that video, Lady B?
I haven't seen it. No, I haven't seen that video. I've just seen the picture. And we were kind of looking at the picture, and there's areas that look like maybe, you know how it gets a little foggy or weird whenever something's been removed or
blurry, kind
erased.
of.
Yeah.
So it looked.
So I would like to see her go through it. That would be great. I haven't seen that.
This is the video. I'll play some of it. I mean, I know her. She's friend
great.
of mine.
I'm always in her channel. She's really clever.
I just went to her channel for the first time this morning about 4:30 in the morning, and was watching her. I'm going to watch more of her. She is really very good. I do like her.
She's done some great work as far as the psychic goes. Like, she's done videos where she's compared the psychic Reverend Donna. She's compared her readings line by line to police reports that have come out after the fact and shown the similarities, and it's crazy.
It is. I remember watching that. It's like the level of detail is not coincidence at all.
Simply updated. Do you want to add anything before I press play? I feel bad.
No, you guys are fine. I'm just listening and reading some of the messages in the chat. I just recently found this lady as well, the Sweetie Pie Low, and what you were just saying was very interesting. So is she a psychic, or she speaks with a psychic, you're saying?
Yeah, she's just friends with her. Like, they're really good friends. So she's put together like her readings, but that's how they became friends. She didn't know her when she started. She started just posting videos like showing how her readings have lined up in police reports, and then I think they began to be friends after that.
Oh, okay.
I'll play it for a minute and watch her. That's funny. The oil farmer's wife, I just found her like 15 minutes ago. Hey, Mrs. Italy.
Happy Saturday. But not real happy because this maniac is still on the loose. I want to share with you some more information that I found out as I dove into the bowels of 4chan. I need to preface what I'm about to show you also by saying that this is all alleged, this is not fact, this is not confirmed, but this is what I found and I want you to know about it because from the looks of what I've come across today, there is, in my opinion, in one woman's opinion, that you might have a serial killer on your Moscow, Idaho. This is not to play the alarmist role, but it's to warn you, not that you haven't been warned already. But this, I've come across a map, and when I plug in some of the locations for this map, it looks to be possibly linked. Like the killer is trying to admire their own work. They have now put out kind of a record of what they've done. And so I'll have to show you what I'm talking about here. Take a look at this map. It says Moscow, Idaho, only map number 1. On the right-hand side, there's a legend. It says bearable dentistry. Then there's feature 1, feature 2, feature 3, feature 4, 5, 6, 7. Hartung Theater, Kibbe Dome, Oxford Laundry, Sudsies Laundry, Tapped, The Laundry Room, United States Postal Service, University of Idaho Disc Golf, University of Idaho Golf Course. Now pay attention to all these landmarks, okay? We know the Quarter Club is where they were that night. We know Mad Greek is where Maddie and Xana worked. You see here, it says Sudsies Laundry.
So I just want to pause for a second to say, remember you guys, we went over the Sudsies Laundry. There was a police report there. We went over this a few days ago on my channel of someone had called in because there was blood found smeared on the wall and they did not take a report actually. So I just wanted to point that out and I'll keep playing it.
Laundry LLC. Well, 911 calls in Idaho College Town include reports of blood, unusual circumstances. Moscow, Idaho, the small town of Moscow, received a deluge of calls last week reporting suspicious activity and requesting welfare checks after 4 University of Idaho students were savagely stabbed to death in a home near campus, according to the recently released 911 logs. The owner of Sudsies Laundromat dialed 911 on November 23rd to report a mark on a column inside that looks like blood. An officer responded, but did not take a report. Now, you will see that seems to be an ongoing theme that MPD goes out, they assess the situation, and I want to say 100% of the time, they do not write a report. It's very strange, especially at a time such as this. Now let's get into what he actually says. And here's what he says. We should all be marveling in his talent and commitment to perfection, a true artist in his craft, yet no one seems to be paying proper respects. Our guest of honor has been in these threads and continues to do so. Let me be the first to say welcome. Let me apologize for all those who came before me and tried to present childlike antics, thus wasting your valuable time. The floor is now properly yours. We are ready to listen. So now the writer goes over in a boastful way, or maybe in an admiring sort of way, where he says that these are the things he's seen that he very much gives props to, okay? That the killer did these particular things. So posted laundromat locations, he says that was brilliant. Posted coordinates as a gift. 2 trail cams found thus far, very smart.
I'd like to thank our sponsor, Liberty Mutual. They customize your car insurance so you only pay for what you need. Contestants
Seems no one checked for wireless cams behind the house in the woods. Double brilliant. Remains immune to immature baiting from these forums. Triple brilliant. Posted pic of one of the young ladies in the black bra. Impressive photo. Let me show you that real quick, guys. Let me read the rest of them and then I'll show you the black bra. Many other photos posted but have been ignored. I'm sure that caused a chuckle or two. Ultimately, the show must go on. Phase 2 due to commence. Here, the writer is saying that this is going to happen again. Now, somebody made a really good note of the dates that a lot of these murders have occurred, that it was on the 13th. I think the one in Oregon, the one in Washington. I don't have that in front of me, but that's what I've heard. And if that is true, I think he's doing a murder by numbers, that kind of thing, / Zodiac. it's definitely, I think, a theme he's going with. I'm going to show you the coordinates real quick that the person posted. I can't remember the date. I feel like it was November 20th or so. But these are the
Okay, so I'm just going to pause for a second. I want you guys to see the rest because it all ties in. But so what she was reading is a post, and you hear either the killer or someone pretending to be the killer, you know, bragging about what he's got away with, right? Like, and he says there's 2 trail cams that haven't been found. There's this, there's that. And then on this list, there's all these different coordinates. And she's about to go through the different coordinates and show what's there. So there's like the coyotes, that attack, the dog. There's a man who was found dead in the creek like last year. And it's okay, so if you guys want to say anything before I finish it, or
Yeah, actually, I would.
Okay.
This isn't about that. I just wanted to say something before I forgot, like I did earlier. I just wanted to say to Simply Updated, I tried to see if Queen was on again last night, and I was in another chat room and was telling them about Queen and the wonderful conversation her and I had the other night. She's a very, very smart person. I really respect her a lot. So I didn't want you thinking that I was just not giving her credit for anything that I might have picked up from her like we all do. But, you know,
Oh,
I
no,
wanted to make sure they knew who she was because I was very impressed with her and, you know, even gave the name of the channel and told anybody, you know, if they want to go there. If they're looking for somebody at, you know, 3:00 in the morning and nobody else is up, she might be.
Right. No, I heard you. I definitely heard you, you know, say her channel name and give her credit. I recognized your name. And then when I heard you say the name, I looked up and then I recognized your name and I was like, oh wait, I've seen her on Queen's panel before talking with her.
Yeah,
So,
that's the first time I've ever been in her room. She's very nice.
oh, okay. Yeah. I
So
only
anyway,
watched
I
that
just
one
wanted to
video.
make that clear.
Yep.
Okay.
But I'm glad you explained this, Alex, too, because I kind of got lost in what she was saying.
I did too the first time I watched it. I had to watch it twice to really get it.
Okay, so could you explain it again?
Yes,
Okay,
please,
so-
because I'm a little confused as well.
Okay, so there's a thread on 4chan and they have this map right here and you see all these little yellow pins. They've pinned all these locations on this map. And she's about to go through some of those. But so they said, we should all be marveling in his talent and commitment to perfection. A true artist in his craft, yet no one seems to be paying proper respects. Our guest of honor has been in these threads and continues to do so. Let me be the first to say welcome. Let me apologize for all those who came before me and tried to present childlike antics, thus wasting your valuable time. The floor is now properly yours. We are ready to listen. And then they say, so posted laundromat locations, brilliant. Posted coordinates as a gift. 2 trail cams found thus far, very smart. Seems no one checked for wireless cams behind the house in the woods, double brilliant. Remains immune to immature baiting from these forums, triple brilliant. Posted pictures of one of the young ladies in a black bra, impressive photo. Many other photos posted but have been ignored. I'm sure that's caused a chuckle or two. Ultimately, the show must go on. Please, phase 2 due to commence. So then, yeah.
Sorry, I
That's
was
okay.
trying to catch you before you started your video. So two things. He's bragging on himself apparently, and he also the trail cams in that wooded area back there, apparently he got those 2 trail cams when he left the house.
Well, I think he pointed out that they were there, and I think that the police, it says, seems no one checked for them, double brilliant. 2 have been found thus far. So I don't know if it's like a hint he's given out to police that there's 2 more trail cams that they haven't found that he's went by. That's the way I took it.
Oh man, this guy is narcissistic, man.
Yes,
He
and
also
it
talks like he's speaking on behalf of someone else. So it's like, I think we've
Right.
discussed this before, where it's like he puts on a mask when he does the killings type of thing. So he's doing the days somewhat respectable and could be considered merely normal. But
Yeah.
then when he puts the mask on, he becomes a monster, you know, and he's speaking as his normal self on behalf of his monster self.
You know, I
Split
agree with
personality.
that. I agree with that, Jay, but I think the real mask is the one he puts on the daytime, and then in this type of thing, he takes the mask off.
Right. And you see the true evil that he
That's
is. at night.
crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, scary. Jana, is this some extreme sick weirdo or exactly? Is this some sick person who is using this and playing out this like manifesto of like this I don't know, this weird almost theater like aspect to it, or is this actually the perpetrator? Or, you know what I mean? I don't know.
It does sound a lot like Zodiac or BTK.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it really does sound. Now that you say that, it reminds me of Zodiac a little bit, like the way he's talking and kind of like, ugh.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna keep playing it and then we'll listen. I've had to rewind back a little bit to get to where I could read this to you, so I'll have to find our spot.
True. I think he's doing a murder by numbers, that kind of thing, slash Zodiac. It's definitely, I think, a theme he's going with. I'm going to show you the coordinates real quick.
I'll just
The
leave it
person
there and let her
posted.
explain.
I can't remember the date. I feel like it was November 20th or so. But these are the coordinates that were posted in 4chan. Maybe could be why the person who wrote this is sort of boasting that there were 2 trail cams found and that there are other, I think, 2 trail cams that are behind the house in the wooded area that possibly haven't been found yet. I mean, if any of this is true, it's absolutely crazy. Again, we're going to say it's speculation right now. I want you to let me know what you think of it. It's awfully creepy. Okay, here's a black bra photo. Take a look at this. It says Moscow. So I don't know if this was manipulated to say Moscow, November 13th, 3:10. It very well could have been. But if you zoom in, it certainly looks like the window was free and clear of nothing obstructing the view, so they could actually see and watch her changing. It's really creepy. There's also talk about
So this is the photo that was posted. Melissa J compared it to Kaylee that night, and I will tell you, like when she puts her standing there that day in those last pictures, her hair and stuff, it looks. Take a screenshot, you guys, and do it yourself. It looks so much like her. And yes, that could manipulate it. I guess someone could have edited that, right? But that looks like on the top of your iPhone when you take a photo and it says where and the date, you know? So I don't know.
It very well could have been. But if you zoom in, it certainly looks like the window was free and clear of nothing obstructing the view, so they could actually see and watch her changing. It's really creepy. There's also talk about anagrams that this person has been using. I want to share this message with you. Let's see if we can somehow unscramble what the words are. I can't remember how I found this. I think it was a picture posted in the 4chan forum. And it basically just said that this was posted recently by somebody, which we could all suppose is probably the person who carried out these deaths and stuff. So it says, boyfriend of unfortunate has had satellite turned upside down. No. What is an anagram? An anagram is, so it's a word. So it's where letters in one word could be scrambled and turned into a whole other word. So if you plug all these words in, you might figure out what it's saying. So that's kind of interesting. Now, next point. I'm trying to make my point fast here.
Okay, so just to pause quickly to kind of explain this. Hey, guidance, we're actually going over some of what we talked about last night, and I was just talking about you. So this here would be like a code where they're showing if you unscramble these letters and re-scramble it, or it will make something else, which crazy. And I'm not that. I don't know if I could sit down and do this, but I'd love to try.
I could give a go. I mean, it's not the first time I've tried to decipher a murderer's code. Because I mean, the Moors murderer, he had a code, and it's an odd type of code because it wasn't within words; it was in allegory and metaphor. So he'd say things like within allegory or metaphor, like say an actor's name or a name of a song, and you'd have to draw from that a clue. It was really difficult, and it hasn't been cracked, but part of it has, and it's just a very difficult way of solving a mystery. But if you're really into that, you could give it a go.
Well, I tell you what, I will leave that to you, Jay, because I'm too old to know what he's probably talking about, because I think he's around 25.
I don't. I think he's 40. I think he's like 35 to 40,
No,
honestly.
I don't think so.
A tough guy,
We'll find out one of these
in between
days,
both.
huh?
I think I'm in between
he's
both
about
of you guys.
30.
I think older 20s or something. Is that what you think? Simply updated.
Yeah, about 30.
Then there's this part of me as well who
between
thinks
20 and
sorry.
30 is where I had said the other night on Queens, and I still kind of hold to that.
Yeah. Well, I thought that there's also a chance that if there was two, that it was like an older male and a younger male doing
Possible.
it. Maybe a nephew and uncle. I would never say father and son in that type of crime, but I could say definitely uncle and nephew, or maybe older cousin and other younger cousin type of scenario.
Well, I mean, a lot of people think that it had a lot of people, it's hard to understand how 4 people could be taken down by one person, right? So it's almost natural to throw in that extra person. I don't know.
Me,
I guess
that's why I think.
Gypsy, you see how I was putting up there this guidance she was just saying last night. I put it right here. The girls' channel I was on last night. Where did I put it? That's not it. Said the same thing, but yeah, she was pointing out the numbers too, as a lot of people look at numerology. It's actually numerology is a science, if you think about it. So it is really interesting.
Totally. Absolutely.
Okay, I'm going to press play so we can get through the end of this.
It's saying. So that's kind of interesting. Now, next point. I'm trying to make my point fast here. Next thing that was stated, that was shown on that map, is the coyotes. Okay, this is why the coyotes are important. This is back from 6 years ago. It says someone's marking coyotes and leaving the carcasses all over University of Idaho Greek Road. For the second time this year, fraternity and sorority members at the University of Idaho woke up to a strange sight of multiple coyote carcasses laying on the doorsteps of their Greek homes. A man was originally caught placing the dead animals on Delta Zeta's stoop back in late January, and this past Friday, more coyote bodies appeared on the porches of the Pi Cap, Alpha Pi, and Pi Phi houses. So it says on January 20th, a man left a dead animal on the porch of a sorority and was caught on camera. He admitted to police he had done it on a dare. In that case, the suspect did not face charges because the sorority did not want to press them, said Captain Tyson Barrett of Moscow PD. In that case, the sorority just wanted the suspect to clean up the mess. In last week's incident, police said they do not have any suspects, though the man from the first incident is being questioned. Barrett said the second incident did not appear to have the same MO. In the second incident, it appeared someone threw the carcasses from a car from the alleyway behind the houses. Barrett said in the first incident, the suspect had taken the time to place it nicely at the door. Okay, so here's the next link. This happened back on, it was either April 30th or May 1st.
And welcome to the Sunday News at 10. I'm Doug Petcash. We start with a tragic story out of North Idaho. The Moscow Police Department says officers found the body of a young Boise man this morning. The body of 19-year-old Hudson Lindow of Boise was found in Paradise Creek near College Avenue in Moscow this morning. The Moscow Police Department says they responded to reports of a body in the creek around 11:30 this morning. The investigation is ongoing, but police say foul play is not suspected.
Take note that that location was listed on this map. It says Paradise Creek. So again, either it is somebody just taking note of all the different incidences that have happened in, let's say, the last several years, or he's taking a bow because he carried it out without being caught. He carried out all these different incidents without being caught. And he's very proud of himself. And in a sort of braggadocio way, he's taking credit. Let me show you what was also posted there. There was this extremely graphic post. I can't even show it to you guys, but what it was blood all over a room. And it looked like either symbols or maybe even words. I mean, I couldn't make out words, but maybe if I could see all of like an entire panoramic view, maybe there would be words. But anyway, things written in blood. And so in the same area as that particular post, there was this written. It says, it's okay to notice the coincidences. So just to sort of go over it one more time, this post that I found with a map is stating that all these different locations on the map are associated with the killer in some way, that this is not coincidence, that there is a connection here. And at this time, the person who is doing the admiring, or let's say it could be the killer, is saying that he put out coordinates where the cops then found 2 trail cams, that there are also 2 or 3 other trail cams behind the home that have possibly not been found yet. Let's go over it.
Okay, so you guys basically get the gist of it. There was a photo of blood all over the wall with words and symbols written in it that she couldn't show. That was also posted on this map. And I'm curious if police, I hope they've been made aware of this. I know that the post guidance last night went to look on 4chan, and because Sweetie Pie Low linked all of this stuff. And after her video, it's all been removed. So I hope that the police, no. And then Kusama Gaming came in and said, ask Tim and William about their involvement. They're not cleared by police. I didn't get a reply after letting them know. So yeah, definitely submit that to the FBI police if you have any, if you have real tips or information about a crime, not just I watched a video and this is what I think, because they get enough of that. Hey, Danny B.
Hey.
How are you?
Good. How are you today?
Pretty good.
Okay, so about him saying something about them, I guess the wounds being different. I was watching Melissa the other night, and she had pulled a couple of theories from, I guess, the Facebook, and I'm not sure where else, but she had just pulled a couple of theories and wanted to run them by everybody and see what they thought. And one of them, she said, now, take this with a grain of salt. I don't know if this is a, reliable person. It could be anybody, but the comment said that it was basically a girl who talks or has some kind of connection to the other corner, who's, I think she said, working the case or something. I have to go back and listen to it. But basically what she said was that Jack is the suspect that the police are looking at, and that they asked the family to publicly, just like kind of play nice and act like, there's nothing to see there, but that in reality, that's who they're, really looking at. And she said that the comment also said, I think it was Maddie was basically decapitated.
What?
Like she had the worst wounds
I heard the
between
same thing.
between her and Kaylee, and they were wondering why she got the worst out of it instead of Kaylee. This is what the comment kind of said. I can't remember
Which Jack? Kaylee's boyfriend, Jack?
That's what I'm thinking. And I tried asking, like, where did you get that comment from? But I don't think she saw my question. So, I mean, you could always talk to her about where she saw that comment. But I found that pretty interesting.
I think she got it off of Reddit, if I'm not mistaken. And I've heard the same thing, and I believe it came off of Reddit.
Yeah, because
Well,
I've been looking for it everywhere.
Well, I can tell you two things that I've seen for sure. One, the coroner was on Ashley Banfield, and she said most of the victims had one fatal wound. Most of them.
Mhm.
That was her words. Then we have now, the family saying it doesn't match. Their injuries don't match. So something, there's got to be something like that where one of them, I don't know though. I've heard that about Maddie being nearly decapitated many times. But the thing I find interesting is the coroner was asked when she says most of them have one fatal wound. She was asked, were they stabbings or slashings? And she said stab wounds, puncture wounds to the upper body. So if it was, that's the only thing that makes me wonder about them saying she was almost decapitated, because wouldn't that be considered like, I don't know.
No, they may not have wanted to release that. And really, it's just speculation at this time. But, it could be that the mode of death was okay. You have the mode of death and you have the cause of death, right? Like,
manner of, yeah.
So the manner of death may be, let's say somebody slit somebody's throat, okay? And then the other manner of death may be maybe hitting sexual areas, to kind of make more of a statement with that particular person.
Yeah.
Or it could be like anything. I mean, because the manner of death. Okay, let me ask you guys this. So, what do you think when somebody says manner of death as
The way they died.
opposed to cause of death? Because I'm like, the cause of death might be strangulation or whatever, right? But the manner of death could be the way that those injuries were inflicted.
Yeah, and also the
Well,
context of it, and also like the intent, and also the ordeal that they may have been put through prior to the death. You know what I
Well,
mean?
this comes from a county coroner website in Washoe County. I just Googled it. The cause of death is the specific injury or disease that leads to death. The manner of death is the determination of how. So it'd be like cause of death, blunt force trauma, manner of death, homicide. Right? There are
Yeah, that
5
makes
manners
sense.
of death: natural, accident, suicide, homicide, and undetermined. Those are the 5 manners of death. I never knew that for sure either. So I'm glad you brought that up, Lady V.
Yeah, you could die by you could die by overdose on pain pills, and then the manner of death would be suicide or drug overdose. You know what I mean?
Or accident. Yeah.
Or accident.
So let's speculate here just for a second, if you don't mind. It's
Okay.
something that just popped in my head just now, and I haven't really thought it out. So if I'm way off, guys, let me know. I'm sure y'all will. But okay, so what if this person was in the house longer than what we think? And the one girl was taken out quickly, and the other girl woke up like, hey, stop, wait, and he took his time with that one a little more, because that one he had a little more time to take care of.
That
I
makes
agree.
sense. Like, because one of them, I've thought the whole time, 2 people, like with Xana and Ethan, one of them had the opportunity to fight, right? Because they had to have been woken up in the middle of their partner being attacked. So you'd think that one of them would.
Didn't they say one of them did have defense wounds?
Yeah. Yep.
Xana and Ethan. I mean, I'm assuming Ethan would because he. Okay, here's what I
I'm
think.
assuming they both would too, but I'm pretty sure they came out and said that like one did for sure.
Yeah,
Right?
Xana fought back. They said,
She
and then
did.
they said that I don't remember.
Well, I
There
mean that makes sense because
several
you would
had
think that they would.
defensive wounds.
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was just thinking. I think then they corrected that and said that there were several that had
Oh.
defensive wounds. But if we think about it like this, okay, so the first one he gets right off the bat. Let's
Right.
say the second one he takes a few minutes longer, okay? And then he's done doing his deed. He goes down the stairs. Ethan has heard something. Ethan comes to the bedroom door, and I don't know what floor they found him laying on, like the kitchen or the hallway. I'm assuming it's kind of the hallway area. Or
Mhm.
maybe he caught him coming back from the bathroom or something. And so it caught Ethan off guard, possibly. And then Ethan's fighting. Xana hears it, and Xana comes out, and then she's the last one, and she fought the most. But that would not work if Xana was the target. Okay, let's say Xana was the target, then that theory doesn't fit at all, and we would have to totally rethink everything.
Right. Now, see, I just don't know for sure. I wish we would have more clear answers about if Ethan was found on the floor, because I've seen that in articles posted by posted some places, and then we have other places that they were all in their beds and they were sleeping, and it's really confusing because just like with the targeted stuff, like they put out one thing, then you hear something totally different, and it's like I don't know what to pass on to tell you guys as the truth. And so I just want you guys to know in the chat, we are just kind of doing like theory and speculation talk right now. We know what the facts are. You can find those on the website, the Moscow County Police website. They have there's not much. A lot of it is theory and speculation.
Okay,
But
did they say they were in their beds or they were asleep? Because I remember them saying they were in their beds, but I don't remember them necessarily saying they were asleep.
I heard,
mean,
yes,
they got home. They got home. If it's between 3 and 4, and she made the last call to Jack when close to 3, how on earth are they going to be asleep that fast?
Well, I know that's the thing, but that is what the coroner said. She said that, but that's she's put out some information that is a little bit confusing. Let me see if I can find where she says it exactly. And then you guys give your opinions and theories and thoughts while I find it, if you want.
Someone in the chat was saying that the coroner had came out with 3 different stories, and I was about to say the same thing. Like I thought I heard at least 1 or 2 different like stories from the coroner that was kind of confusing. You know what I mean? Contradicted some of the other things she said.
Yeah,
What do
exactly.
you guys think?
Oh yeah, I know the contradictory, from law enforcement, from media. At this point, it's just like, what are we to believe?
Exactly. It feels like they don't have anything, so they're just making it up as they go along.
Right? It's so confusing.
Let's see. Here's one where it says the coroner said they were likely sleeping, but what I saw, she said once that they were sleeping. I think.
How can she know that? She can know they are in bed, but how can she know that they were sleeping?
I don't know.
I don't know if there's any technology that would, unless the only way that they know is if they could put a guess that there was no resistance to it and it was done quickly in the manner there was no or anything like that. That could be a guess. It would be
possible.
a guess. It wouldn't necessarily be true.
Now I don't know
based on their experience.
I don't know if there's any like chemical reactions, but the coroner hadn't got any of that back yet when she said that anyways.
Does anybody know how far or away the ex-boyfriend Jack lives from the house?
Good question.
Nope, I have no idea. That is a good
Because
question.
I mean, I know we're hearing that he was asleep during all of these phone calls, but when somebody calls you that many times in a row, I mean, he might have been a little intoxicated himself, and sometimes when you've been drinking, you won't wake up to maybe your cell phone ringing or something. But for someone to call you that many times in a row, I feel like he would eventually have woke up, thinking, okay, it must be an emergency or something, and answered his phone. To just not answer all of them phone calls, it's almost like he did it on purpose, maybe left it at home or something, is what I've been thinking.
You make a good point, and I've been thinking that as well. I've been thinking, but at the same time, it may not be anything nefarious as to why he was ignoring it. Maybe it's like, she's just broken up with me. Maybe he wanted to move on. You know what I mean? Maybe he wanted to say, right, done playing this game of like, we break up, we get back together again. I want something consistent. You know what I mean? Or he wanted to just party. You know what I mean? It could be a multitude of reasons, but like you say, it does raise a few eyebrows.
And I mean, if you think about all of the comments too that her family has made about him, I mean, everything down to 1000% he's not involved. Like, they're not just saying, no, we don't think he's involved. They're like hardcore backing him up and saying there's absolutely no way at all that he would be involved.
Well, they said the same thing as Scott Peterson.
Oh yeah, they did. That's a fact. That I know a lot about that case.
And they do a lot.
My computer's about to die, and I'm gonna have to come in on my phone. So you guys just play this 1 minute clip before it does, okay? Because then we're gonna get kicked off. Hopefully, it doesn't get stuck playing. I can close it and come from my phone.
Sleep found were they found in beds?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh my God, they cut it off there. Ugh.
It was a pretty large knife, so it's really hard to call them puncture wounds. And there were definitely stabbings, and I mean, it has to be somebody that's pretty angry in order to stab 4 people to death.
Actually, they don't even play the interview, but here they have the quote where the coroner said, they were stabbed to death in bed, and it's likely they were asleep when attacked, the coroner has revealed. So I don't know without seeing that actual interview, which I can't find. I can't find Ashley Banfield's full interview with the coroner. If you guys find it, let me know. And then
I haven't seen a full one myself.
Let's see.
That's interesting. This is Cooper Ellenberg. Go on somewhere. Hey, Christine. Okay.
But I've heard a man say that this is like a toxic anywhere, so that's pretty weird.
Okay. I have to come in from my computer. I want to just give you guys a second to give any theory or opinions that you have, and then I'll probably let you guys go. So, yeah, if any of you have anything to add, and whoever can go first, it doesn't matter.
No one wants to go first.
Right, everybody said anything. Honestly, my opinion from the get-go has been, well, ever since I saw the TikToks from the guy from the food truck, and he said some things that, aren't being put out in the media to portray like how drunk the girls were that night. I don't want to victim blame or anything, but like he said, they were getting attention for the wrong reasons. the girls were.
Mhm.
And so I was thinking, maybe there was somebody out that night that, was on a mission seeking a target of some kind and saw them as an easy target, basically, and probably followed them home, maybe hid in the woods behind the house until he thought everybody was asleep, and then went in and did what he did.
I get what I get what you're saying, but to me, it's like that's too complex. That's the type of thing you do for a robbery, not a mass murder. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's too. But I'm not saying that there's not people out there who are like that. You know what I mean? Who aren't like that. But it's like most times but to me as well, it feels quite well planned.
Well, I guess like we're, with the information that we have, the little bit of actual factual information, anything's possible. But
And
anything is.
Sorry, as complex as that house is to all of us to figure out, I do feel like it does have to probably be somebody that's been to a party there once before or something to know the layout of the house.
Yeah, absolutely, totally. And also know where to go in, because there was no broken door or anything like that. To know that there would maybe somewhere like on the second floor, we've discussed this before, I think Lady V has proposed this theory, that they left it open, that one of them may have been a smoker, they leave it open at night, people go out for cigarettes and things like that and to vape or whatever. And they may have known full well that would have been left open. So I think that, if not being there invited, they've certainly watched the movements of the place for a while.
And, a back door is something that one would be most likely to leave unlocked, because you wouldn't think, oh, someone's going to go through the trouble of going around to the back of my house. And I mean, of course, unless they're there for nefarious reasons, but I've left my back door unlocked before leaving my house thinking, oh, nobody's going to go through my backyard to get into my house.
Yeah.
Oh, I remembered what I was going to ask you earlier, Alex. Did you hear Xana's mother say that her father went over there a week before and like changed some lock or fixed a lock or something? We don't know if it was like, I'm assuming
I
the
was gonna say
bedroom.
that too. That seems a little weird, like that they were having issues with it, just a
Yeah,
couple
but
of
not
days
if she
ago.
was the target. Not if somebody maybe kind of was trying to break into her room or something already, and that's why he had to change the lock or fix the lock, or they were afraid that was happening.
Right, that's what I'm saying. It seems like a little fishy that it seems like somebody was already messing with the lock once before because they had to get it fixed.
Right.
Interesting.
I just had a revelation. I never thought that Xana was the target. I've always thought it was Kaylee or Maddie. But you saying that in my head, I'm like, well, what if Xana was the target? Then they wouldn't have to go upstairs. Do you remember what the dad said in the
He
interview?
said he didn't have to go up the stairs.
Yes, he did go upstairs.
Steps. Up the steps.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
Are the steps there?
Yeah, steps.
Yeah, so when
because
you
they
walk-
corrected me the other night over at Brittany's, it's steps. Believe me.
What do you
Well,
mean?
when you walk into the house, their bedroom is right past that. You have the sliding glass door that goes into the kitchen. Their bedroom is on the second floor right there. They went upstairs to Kaylee and Maddie. You know what I mean? So what if, I don't know, it's just interesting that he said that, and maybe there's a reason he thinks she was the target.
Well, okay. Now that you're thinking this, because this is why I asked earlier what I did, because you have the father changing the locks, right? You had her. Well, yeah, you have the father of Kaylee saying he didn't have to go up the steps.
Yep.
And then you have the fact that Xana has had everything separately. Why? Is it maybe because she was the target and he didn't have to go up the steps, and if she wouldn't have been there, or you know what I'm saying?
I
No,
think
that's a good
perfect sense.
question.
Yeah, it is. And then talking about why her, which I will say, I found a post from a man on Twitter who was doing like a candlelight thing. It was her family. The last name was Kernodle. I assume it was her dad. I don't know for sure, but he was doing like a candlelight vigil at home with a flag, a vandal flag flying, the school's flag, and then a candle. And he did a post about it, but on the night of the vigil that they had, but I don't know. That's really interesting now. I don't know. Her dad has said so. I have to go back. I think I'm going to do that like on my free time by myself. Go back through Dad's most recent interviews, not the first ones, but the last few days, and like really try to. He's saying a lot of stuff in code, you know?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He
Yeah.
definitely is.
Does he live in Idaho?
You know what? I think he's the one who said the reason that we moved to this, the reason we chose this area is because it was safe. But I don't know if he lives in Idaho or not, because I know she was getting removed
Who?
from the state. Kaylee's dad.
Can I talk about Tony's comment for a second?
Yeah,
Yeah.
please. I'm
What
curious.
Well,
was it?
honestly, like that's not impossible. That is not an impossible theory. I've also had the theory that maybe one or two of them had gone into debt with some local undesirables, like drug dealers or whatever, and you know, it came to that. You know what I mean? Like they hadn't paid up, and it came to that. You know, and people, you know, in terms of like marijuana and things like that, no one's going to get that done to them over a small marijuana debt, but other types of drugs, Schedule 1, yes, you that could happen, and certainly if they're a gang that they got themselves mixed up with buying from, they're very likely to do things like that. So that's it'd be just a line of inquiry to look into any possible organized crime groups within the area.
Did you guys hear that one or more of the girls might, what do they call it? The oh God, I don't know what y'all call it. We used to, okay, where they like did things on camera and stuff. What's the
OnlyFans
name?
model.
Oh yeah.
A what?
An OnlyFans model.
Yes.
Yeah, I heard that was a rumor. I'm not sure.
I don't know who or if all of them, or I have no idea.
That's the dangerous side of OnlyFans. They can invite things like that.
Well, it's just a rumor, so we don't know if it's true or not. And I
No,
will say,
absolutely not. There's no confirmation, and obviously everything we say, other than what's been said by the police, is complete speculation.
Yeah.
Alex, the other day, didn't you go over Xana's mom's charges?
Yeah.
Did it mention? Did it mention something about meth?
Did it?
I want to say it did.
Alex, you're breaking up, honey.
They don't seem like the meth types. They seem more like they're into Molly, ecstasy, if there was any drug.
Alex?
Who knows? Kids these days, man.
Go back and look, because I'm starting to get it confused with Danny's mom. Or was it Danny's mom? Remember, who was locked up in Quentin's case? Somebody else.
Wasn't it Xana's mom who's
Xana's mom, yes, she was arrested a few days after, and it was drug related, but I cannot remember if it was meth exactly.
I know. Also, to say that when I heard that for the first time, I thought maybe she was in debt with someone. And I know when I was buying the bad types of drugs, I was buying it from villains, and they were villains. And honestly, they would do things like, I know those types of people would do things like that. If she didn't pay up, she's gone away for a long time, we're not getting our money. What we're going to do? Hit the closest thing to her, a child. You know what I mean? Get hurt her. That's what they do. They're horrible.
Oh yeah,
People.
and when I hate saying meth, but if it's something like that, they, when they use it, they do crazy stuff.
Oh,
Right. You're not in
absolutely.
the right.
Absolutely.
And
I was buying from people who were doing it themselves, coke. I've never done meth that I know of, but they themselves are uber paranoid all the
oh
time,
yeah, I've seen
carrying
somebody
guns
on it.
everywhere.
I've had somebody on it right in front of me telling me there was a helicopter in the sky watching over us, and I'm there. He like sat there on this bucket in our driveway for hours, and I'm like, "There's nothing there." So that's when they've been staying up for days and doing something, and then they just do crazy stuff.
Absolutely,
And
animalistic. It's
oh yeah,
animalistic. And they have that superhuman strength where
yes, yes.
not 100 men can't stop you, especially on meth. It is superhuman strength, and it's a mania. But it'll be interesting to see the degree of how frenzied the attack was in details, and if that rumor about her being decapitated is true, then them being on that would definitely be very likely.
Right.
And I was hearing it said that like if it was a woman, they wouldn't have the strength to, penetrate, as hard as far as say a man would. The
Woman on
wounds would,
meth would.
yeah, yeah,
Totally.
and
Woman on
and
meth, stronger than any man who isn't.
oh yeah, and when I look at my notes, Xana, her family, it says that they're from Arizona.
And what does that have to do with it?
I was just wondering, like, how, like, if somebody was to, be looking for her, if they would be close or have to come from far.
Okay. I wasn't trying to be a smart aleck. I was
Oh
just
no.
like,
I was just wondering it as well.
Yeah.
well, okay, so I understand you guys are speculating and all of that and theorizing, but until we really know something more about Xana's mom, this woman's going through hell.
Oh, absolutely. And in no way what I was saying was in any way trying to denigrate her, because no one deserves, no matter
Oh, I
how much
know
money
that.
you owe, or if you owe or not, deserves
No,
to have that done to them or have that done to their child. You know what I mean? No one does.
no,
Right,
and
right, right.
I didn't think you were
No,
insinuating
I was
that
just,
at
I know, I
all.
don't think you did. I was just clarifying it for the chat, because
Yeah,
some
I
people
just
on the
think
internet, they don't.
obviously this woman has some problems that she needs to take care of, and I heard that she was in jail like 5 days before this happened, and then I understand completely why she ended up afterward in jail for the same thing after this, because I couldn't imagine. But it doesn't sound to me
Was it the same
like
person that got arrested twice?
I just looked. Okay.
I thought it was Maddie's mom. I
It
don't know.
is.
was it Maddie's mom?
Maddie's mom before the killings and then Xana's mom after. Is that correct? I want to make sure I have it right too.
Oh, I must have messed that up.
It was Maddie's mom before, and I just was looking for the charges. It's both of them, because I had them in my
Fentanyl
folder
trafficking.
that I had. So Maddie's mom and Xana's mom both have possession of controlled substance charges, but they didn't say what the substance was. So I can't. Now, the other day we talked about it. So if depending on what I showed then, maybe we talked about meth. But I know that we talked about. I know who it was. In the Amanda Bearden case. That's where I'm getting it confused. Or who was that?
Yeah.
The mom. His mom had the meth charges in that, right? Amanda's boyfriend's mom or something. So they're all running together, but they're possession of controlled substance.
It doesn't say anything
Okay,
about what
so
level.
I'll look again while you guys are talking. Hold on.
So what I'm kind of saying is, I mean, I know nobody meant anything, but here's my deal. And tell me if you guys pick up on something differently. But to me, it sounded like she was kind of estranged from her husband, her ex-husband, and the other daughter.
Mm-hmm.
Because remember, she said, "I'm not going to speak for Jessica. I So it kind of sounded like a little, I ain't going there, kind
Yeah,
of
and
thing.
when addiction is a factor in somebody's life, your family wants you to hit rock bottom for you to get back up. So I can
Sure.
perfectly see that being the situation.
So
Yeah.
I feel bad for her that she's not having a whole lot of support, and she's not getting any support from law enforcement as far as what is it, the victims advocates for the families of victims.
Well, I'm glad you said that, Lady V, because it's okay. So it says scheduled 1 and scheduled 2, 6 day. It says 6 days. Now I keep hearing 5, but this article says 6. And then Maddie was before. Maddie's stepmom was before. But I think
Thank
like,
you. I never heard that clearly before.
yeah. And I can send you, I have a bunch of stuff on it. If you ever need it, email me and I'll send you. But I'm glad you said that because it's so important. Look, just because they have addiction issues, the moms, number one, they're going through hell right now. And I don't care how addicted you are. Addiction is a sickness. I'm sorry, but
Mm-hmm.
they've lost their kids. So I'm not here to beat anybody up. Now, to talk about it, that's why the other day when I did talk about it, it was super brief because I didn't want to make connections that weren't there. However, I think we have to take note of it because, there are people who kill over drug debts and things like that. And they do kill family members. They will hurt.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Oh,
they'll
I agree.
after the family member. But I mean, it's good to remember kind of what they're going through right now. And can you imagine someone who's in active addiction, how much this has pushed their addiction
Oh
and made
yeah. And
Oh,
I'm just saying that that's why I said until we find out more evidence to that.
yeah.
I just, she just broke my heart, to be honest with you. I do have one more question. I know I jump around a lot, but have you seen Nancy Grace's have you listened to Nancy Grace's latest podcast on the Idaho 4?
I listened to it.
Was it from last night?
Yes.
Yeah.
I heard it. Is it good?
Yeah, it has a lot of things that I've been saying. And uh I forgot your name.
Ooh.
The one with the one that I said was pretty. I didn't see the other one.
Simply
Simply, I'm
Simply
sorry.
Updated.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
she can probably tell you since she's seen me. We've been in several places together, apparently.
Mhm.
I'm kind of, I and Val have both been kind of leaning towards serial killer from the very beginning. I don't know why. It just kind of hits me. I've just seen and heard too much about him and been involved with uh, being close to one of them geographically. And I don't know, it just hit me from the very beginning. And so I think it's something maybe to consider. I mean,
Absolutely.
especially because, it seems like, okay, we're going from, if you're going from targeting, okay, targeting means, okay, maybe somebody had a grudge, maybe somebody felt that they were rebuffed and they wanted to take one of these girls out because it might be their last chance to get Kaylee before she leaves, right? And he may never get another chance. Or if the house itself was targeted, okay? But I don't know why the house would be targeted, but whatever. So then they say it's not targeted, right? Well, when you take that away where it's not targeted, what that means is it could be anybody. And that's more scary than it being targeted, because if it's targeted, there's a reason. If it's not targeted, that leaves it open for who knows.
Right, and then when you
I'm with Incognito Gypsy. I mean, I get serious stalker vibes, but I also am entertaining the theory of that it is a drug related thing. I'm halfway on both, and like you say, I think if it is a targeted thing, at the very least, at least it's not. At least there's not going to be more kill him. You know what I mean?
Right. Exactly what I'm saying.
It's scary to think about, Lady V. It's super scary to think about because, like, if it wasn't targeted, yeah, it's very.
Where do
It's
you go from there?
yeah.
It could be anybody.
Now I
And
want to.
honestly, I'm going to be honest with you since you asked us to say something. I'll finish my theory. Let's say this was targeted. All right.
Tony has a point.
I think that if it was targeted, that this person truly enjoyed every single second of what he did, and I think he will do it again.
I think you're right there, because
yeah,
I think they would have been doing it in almost a trance, and it would have been like a high, just going into the house, the high of doing that, and then never mind the high of actually carrying out the atrocities. You know, and then that like a kind of like a rabid dog wants to get a taste for
Right.
blood.
The
They're going to want to
bloodlust.
bite again.
Yeah, the bloodlust hit him, and there it goes. And
The
Tony,
birth of a serial killer, basically.
exactly. And Tony, no, it doesn't have to have an essay for it to be a serial killer. In fact,
I think what
a
he was
knife
saying,
can be used.
I think what Tony was saying was about my angle in saying that if it was like a peeping Tom type of thing, like if it was a peeping Tom, then you'd expect them, they would have a go, wouldn't they, if that's a sexual thing. But,
Yeah, but
not
a knife
necessarily, I
like
suppose,
that
but
can
maybe
be.
the number of people put them off being
Yeah,
able to
but
do it.
yeah, but a knife like that can also replace that.
You're right.
That's very. It can be
You're
very
right.
sexual in
That
itself, and then
they could
later
be
get
sexually
enough.
aroused by carrying out violence, by carrying out the stabbings, the murders.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, because I've heard serial killers say it themselves that it can be very sexual.
Like a
And
gun can as well, like a gun.
And Dr. John Matthias, he was saying that himself. He was like, they don't have to necessarily be SA'd for it to be sexually motivated. It could just be the act alone.
Yeah,
Right.
could just give them that arousal, yeah.
Get off.
Hey, if you guys didn't watch Valerie Knox the other night, she did her first live, and this is what her and I kind of focused on a little bit, was this aspect of it. If you haven't seen it, you ought to go over to her channel and see it.
I need the link because the other day I meant to go subscribe when Brittany mentioned it, and I didn't get the link.
Okay, give me just a second, and I'll get it for you.
If you can put it in the private chat, and then yeah.
You want me to put it in private chat or?
Yeah, because you don't have a wrench over here. I don't mind for you to have one, but if you drop it, no one will be able to click it. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So,
see, I didn't know. I have no idea.
That's okay. Yeah.
Dr. John, he's like a forensic and I forget pathological, or he's a psychiatrist. Pathologist. But he's a psychiatrist, and so he sat down with his wife Lauren and on Hidden True Crime, and he did an analysis of the murder, and I found that just very interesting.
Okay, give me just a second. I have two different devices. I've got to
Valerie,
put it in my Discord and then put it back over on you. So give me just a second. I'm working on it.
So what do you guys think, Danny? Do you have a theory or an opinion on what you think? Or thank you, Lynn.
Yeah, at first I thought serial killer because of the whole dog skinning. I thought he was like working his way up, you know. And when you look at that house, it's not a small house. So if you're going to go into that house, you're going to have to be thinking like, okay, there's probably going to be, you know, a couple of people in here. So you're going to have balls of steel and be on a mission to go into that house and do what he did, and to the extreme that he did. It just,
I agree. I thought that. I'm like, you got to have so much nerve and confidence to walk in there and not think, okay, this person has a knife, a phone to take a video, you know, whatever. that
You have to know they don't have any guns either.
It's crazy.
You'd
Yeah.
be taking a knife to a gunfight.
Right. So,
Um,
like, what's his connection to a knife? Why did it have to be a knife and not a gun or something else? His hands.
Could be
And
something.
something I heard that I wanted to mention too is a certain somebody. Okay, there's a Moscow axe throwing, like kind of what do you call it, establishment there, and a certain person went in there and was filming, and they were filming outside just talking about the building, and the owner came out and talked to them, and they thought that they were going to be asked to leave, but he invited them in. But before he did, he volunteered this information. He said that the homicide cops had actually come to his establishment and talked to him. And he said, actually, yeah, there is a sketchy person that's been coming in here that and he talked to them all about him.
Wow.
It's very interesting.
Yeah. So I was like, wow, okay, that I'm kind of more goes towards the serial killer thing.
I think they mean a hunter would have a stomach for it. Well, then what do you guys think about Woofie's comment? She said a serial killer would have killed all in the house, in my opinion. Now, I agree and disagree, because what if their doors were locked? What if they didn't even pass the stairs? I need to know which, like, they'll pass the stairs to go downstairs on the way to go upstairs, if that makes sense, or where, because the house is built in such an odd way. You know, that most likely, yes, but also there are instances that you got us in your pocket, Jay.
I was just opening a package of weed. Sorry, some anti-kid proof ones. You really have to pull them.
Oh yeah. The two dips.
Forgive me.
Oh, Lady V's back. What happened? What, does it smell good?
Oh my God, yes, it's slurry cane.
Hey, it's Christmas time. It all smells good around this time.
Got a half
Okay.
ounce of slurry cane. It's amazing.
Okay, I have something to say about it. It is not unprecedented that they leave people alive. Number one, they might not have even paid any attention to if there was anybody even living on on the bottom floor, because he might have just been scoping from the back. But it's not unprecedented even for them to know there's other people in there and leave them.
Or maybe if he went straight to the third floor, and like you were saying earlier, Ethan was aroused by some kind of noise and was coming out his bedroom door or whatever, checking something out, and so he quickly did what he did with him and Xana, and then thought, okay, I've made enough noise, I gotta go ahead and get out of here, no matter who's left.
Yeah, could be.
Yeah.
Or maybe he was just simply exhausted.
Yeah.
I thought if there was sorry, I thought if there was a target, that maybe that's why they, like, say the fourth person killed was the target, then they leave, right? Because like the first couple is just who they run into on the way to their target, and then they leave. But is it possible it could be targeted and a serial killer, or could it be targeted and the birth of a serial killer, like you were talking about, Lady V? Like, this could have been the beginning of someone who goes on to do this again. It started out as something targeted, but it could morph into, something totally different.
Okay, now when I say targeted, they're talking in respects of like an ex-boyfriend or somebody, who's on the outskirts that can't get in, and they're resentful and all of that. But most definitely, Ted Bundy, he targeted women of a certain kind. You get to BTK, he would see a person. If you've never watched his confession that he did in court, you need to watch BTK's confession. Talk about one cold-blooded, sick person. So he would see somebody, he would see a lady, okay? And all of a sudden it would pop in his head, she's the one I want. and then he would follow her, study her, and he would go in there, and yeah, so it could be targeted in that way. Yes.
That's crazy. It's crazy that people actually think like that.
Yeah.
It really,
And
really.
he said, he'd drive
Mhm.
around. He had, at times, he had 4 or 5 different folders of women he thought, well, maybe. And then one would just take his fancy, basically. And that was going to be the one he went after. And he would lie in wait. Like he would, when nobody was at home, hang on a second. Sorry, my medicine makes my mouth dry. So when nobody was home, there were times he would sneak into. Oh, first I want to say he worked for ADT in the beginning. So here you have a serial killer that is installing your alarm system. Number one, that's just not
Oh.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And number two, what he would do is he would cut the phone lines and everything, get it all set up, sit downstairs in a basement or an empty room or whatever, and he'd sit there for hours. Sit there until he knew it's like 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, knowing you're asleep.
Jesus Christ.
And then he'd come in. Yeah. And
Crazy.
even more sick, there was a lady that he was a deacon in a church. This is how compartmentalized these people can be. He was an absolutely wonderful husband, absolutely wonderful father. That's the mask he wears during the day. Now, one of the ladies that he killed, he actually took her to the Lutheran church that he went to and was a deacon in, and he posed her and everything there in the church.
God.
Ugh.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, these people, there's no way we could even begin to fathom how they think. So, yeah, I mean, it could be anything.
Yeah.
It's just when that one hits you, and Ted Bundy did the same thing. It was basically he targeted a certain type of woman with a certain type color of hair, even parted down the middle.
Yep. That's
No?
yeah, and I don't know. I think it's kind of scary how the possibilities are really endless. I want to tell you guys something funny Bentley did last night. So he's 6. He come in there. It was bedtime just about, and I was sitting in the living room, like on the ottoman in front of my couch, and he come in there and said, "Oh my gosh, Mom, you have got to make a live about this." He wanted to, and it was about a little boy who was like 6, and he saved there was a little girl who a dog tried to attack her, and her brother like jumped in front of her, and he said that if her brother said he would rather die than her, and it was just so sad and sweet. He didn't die, and I mean, thank God he didn't die, and they were okay. But Bentley came in and he's like, "You got to make a live about this." He watched the video. Like,
He's the next generation YouTuber or whatever it happens to be.
So cute.
That's so
10 years
funny.
from now.
I was like, "Oh God, I can't wait to tell my chat about this."
You got to remember that story so you can tell his girlfriend one day or wife.
I know. That's funny. But
Kids
yeah,
are too cute.
I want to if you guys wanted to add anything, and then I'll probably let you guys go, because at this point my laptop's died. Now my phone's dead. I'm sitting in my car on the car charger.
I'm done.
Okay, well, what about you guys? Lady V, thank you for everything you add too, because this has been a really fun talk. I like all of you guys. Thank you for everything you add.
It's my
Thank
pleasure.
you.
I
Thank you.
enjoyed
It's been
talking
amazing.
to all of you too.
Yes, thank you.
I'm
Something
going to jump down, guys.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Love you guys.
Hey,
Bye-bye.
love you.
Hi,
care,
I'm gonna
everyone.
jump on as well. Thank you so much, Alex, for letting me up on the panel. I appreciate it. I always enjoy chatting with you guys. So just wanted to say thank you.
Thank you for coming, and definitely come back.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah,
Thank
definitely.
you. All right, guys. You have a good day, okay?
You too.
You too.
Bye-bye.
So this is just something random because people have said that, like, what if they were already in the house before, they all came home? Uh, and we all watch our crime shows. Did you know there's a crime show and it's called Frogging, and it's spelled Phrogging, and it's a show about people that literally live in like the crawl spaces of people's houses and stuff.
I've heard of that.
Yeah, for long periods of time, and then eventually they make some kind of noise or something and they get caught. And so I don't know, with that, everybody's saying, well, what if there was somebody already in there? And then I seen where somebody had posted a picture of like this random little like door in one of the rooms that looks like an access to like a crawl area. And it made me think of that show.
Ooh,
It's
I'll have to
possible.
check that out.
It's so possible because there's no sign of forced entry, and yeah, there was space for it, and also they hadn't been there for that long.
I got to check out this show, Frogging, Phrogging, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
And then that
Thanks,
way,
Ali, for having me up. It's been amazing. And thank you,
Yes.
everyone, for sharing such amazing information. It's always fun.
Jay, yes, thank you for coming so much.
Oh, thanks so much. Have a great day, everyone.
You
I'll
too.
hop down
Take
too.
Okay, Danny B, thank you for coming up. You come back. Definitely
Oh,
come.
I will. I love talking to you guys.
No, I love having you. All right, well, have a great day.
All right, you too, girl.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Hey, you guys in chat. I hope you guys have a great day. Thank you for being here for the discussion. Remember, a lot of this is just speculation. I don't ever want to be someone who puts out, I don't want to give misinformation, put you guys through emotional trauma and struggles and all that stuff that's not necessary. So, yeah. Anyways, thank you to my mods. I really do appreciate you. And I love all of you guys. And I hope you have a great day. Okay. Bye.